Yo, what's up, dogs? I am back once again with another Better Late Than Never movie review. And today we are going to be talking about The Strangers Chapter 2. And let's get into it. Now, before I start with my review and spoiler review of The Strangers Chapter 2, let me just tell you a little something here, okay? I have never watched any of the Stranger movies, okay? I haven't seen I think the first one that came out in like what 2008. Never seen it. Never seen the remake of it or there's a couple Stranger movies out there and I haven't seen them. And I have not seen The Strangers Chapter 1 as well. But my friend who I took with me on Tuesday Cheap Night Horror Night, she's seen chapter one and she wanted to see chapter two. She said chapter one was really, really good. Lots of scares and jump scares and just a good time. So she was anticipating chapter two more than me. And I'll be honest with you, I had no desire to see chapter two. I just was like, yeah, whatever. I'll go see it. I like going to see movies, so I'll go see it. So that's where we are with this movie, okay? And now let's jump in to spoiler territory because we're just going to talk about this movie, okay? And um, it starts off with our main character, Maya, who's played by Madeline uh, Petchny. I do not know how to pronounce this last name. I am sorry about that, Madeline. But her character is Maya, and she is from chapter one of The Strangers, obviously. And she is the only person who actually survived the strangers' attack on the house, right? I think everybody who was there died, even her, I want to say boyfriend, maybe fiance. I don't know. I think his name is Ryan, but he is also dead. And so she's the only one alive, and she happens to be alive in this little small town inside a hospital where she is recovering. And she meets our first character named Donica, who was played by Brooke Leah Johnson. And she is kind of just like her nurse, you know what I'm saying? Making sure she's doing good, the vitals and all that are fine. And she's kind of just filling her in on what's going on. And we also are introduced to the sheriff Rotter, played by Richard Brake, and there's another deputy with him. I forgot to write his name down because I was running out of space with my notes here. And he's with the deputy, and they're kind of just questioning Maya about the events that happened at the house, right? And Maya's more concerned with like, is her boyfriend alive, but he's not, and she's just dealing with all this tragedy and stuff, right? And she's surprised that she survived such a horrific event that happened in chapter one. So we go to a diner where the sheriff and deputy are at, and they're just talking about the case, and they're openly talking about Maya and how she survived the tragic events at from the house, right? But little do we know that there's three characters that work at the diner. At least I think one of them definitely works at the diner, which I think is Pin-Up Girl. That's her character name, but she does. I don't know her name as other than her horror name. You know what I'm saying, or whatever she is works at the diner as a waitress, and I'm going to assume her boyfriend at this time. I'm assuming her boyfriend, because the story unveils it as we go. Who is Scarecrow is like a patron there, and so is Dollface, right? And they overhear this conversation between the deputy, the sheriff, and one of the older waitresses there. I think her name is Carol, if I recall. And they are talking about that Maya has survived, and this perks up Scarecrow, like, oh, we have to go and finish the job. You know what I'm saying? And so they go to the hospital to come after Maya. And I'm going to be honest with you right here, okay? The sequence of Maya in the hospital and running away from the strangers, which is Scarecrow, Dollface, and Pinup, I really enjoyed that sequence. It was very well done and very tension building throughout. However, again, this is kind of like a slasher movie. This is a slasher movie, not kind of like a slasher movie. This is a slasher movie. And I have to give them the horror benefit of the doubt of movement speed plus 10, and they can have the ability to magically teleport undetected because these guys have some kind of magical amulet on them and they just appear when they need to appear and you just go along for the ride. However, I enjoyed the tension scenes that were built. There's a really good scene of I actually I really liked Scarecrow. The guy who plays him, Matthias Lejac. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but he has a really good presence as Scarecrow. He's just a really big, dominating, hulking kind of brutish dude who has a very nice pace to him. He has speed and power, and you're kind of like, I do not want to take an axe from this guy. He's going to chop me in half with no problems. And he really puts that brutishness like out there. You know, you can really get behind the scaredness of him. And when he's in the hospital stalking Maya, it's really nice. It's really well done. And Maya's the little deer, you know what I'm saying? She's like trying to juke and jive because she has nothing. She's in her hospital gown. There's no doctors around. There's no nurses around. Don't ask me why the hospital is suddenly empty. However, here's the thing though, okay? I forgot to mention this. This town that Maya is in, where the small hospital is in the small town, I feel like everybody in this town is a murderer. Like everyone comes across as a murderer to some level of degree where you're kind of questioning everyone in this movie of like, are you a stranger as well? Are like, and I think that's maybe by design, but I really feel like every time I ever saw a new character pop up, I'm like, don't trust them. They're also going to be a killer. You know what I'm saying? That could be Scarecrow or that could be someone else. You know what I'm saying? So that happens a lot in this movie as well. And it just felt like the small town was really all together out to get Maya. And that's kind of why I was like, I guess the hospital's empty because so and so said, get out of the hospital. We got to kill this Maya person. And we don't know who that so and so is who has that type of power in this town. But that kind of feels like the way it is, except for the one sequence where the lonely janitor takes an axe to the chest and dies. It's like, was he not cool with the town? You know what I'm saying? Like everyone else got the note, got the text message on the WhatsApp, get out of the hospital because Scarecrow's coming, except for the one dude, right? And he gets got quickly. But there is a good scene. There's a couple good scenes in the hospital sequence where she's hiding from Scarecrow in the morgatory area. That was really cool. And she runs into her dead boyfriend, Ryan, as the corpse in the morgue. And she kind of has a little moment. She can't really cry and be there at that moment because she's scared, terrified, scared of Scarecrow coming to kill her. And there's a good sequence where she jumps into the elevator lift, like for the food dolly, and I think it's Dollface and Pinup to me look the same, so it's hard to go between two and two. But I think Pinup is the one that gets closest to her and scares her. There's some good little jump scares in here and there, and yeah, there's some fun in there, and I like the tension building. And so, what happens after that sequence of events? Maya is able to actually outsmart them and get away from the strangers. And she runs out into the rain of the road like a classic horror movie, and she waves down the first car. And in my mind, I'm like, oh no, you're going to die. Like, I just assumed it would be like one of the strangers' crew from the diner. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this isn't good. But it turns out that it happens to be Danica, her nurse, is in the car, and she's like, yo yo yo, what's wrong, blah blah blah. You know, they have a little conversation. They get Maya in the back of this, in the Jeep, or I think it's a Jeep, or it's a Toyota something. And Danica introduces her friend Carol, who is played by Janice Ahern. And there's a really funny sequence of conversation here. Me and my friend laughed at it because, like, when Carol's introduced, she's like, "Oh, this is my friend Carol." I think she did go something along the lines of like, "Oh, she's from the army. She's just coming back from the military or something like that." And the girl turns around and looks like at us. It like kind of into the camera, but she's looking at mine. And she goes, "3 years of service," and does like this head nod, like salute thing. And me and my friend are the only person laughing at how stupid that piece of dialogue sounded. And no one else caught it, but we were laughing. We're like, this is so dumb. And even throughout the rest of the night, I was just saying every time I look at my friend and just go, and we were just laughing to ourselves. And anyways, they're in this truck Jeep thing. Maya is I want to say Maya's freaking out. She is losing her shit, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't trust Donica. She doesn't trust Carol, and she is like panicking. They lock the doors on her, and she's panicking even more. Like she wants out of here, and Danica's like trying to calm her down, and like it's not really working. But they drive off anyways, and like Maya she eventually calms down, but she's starting to hatch a plan in her mind of like, I need to get out of this really bad situation. So there happens to be a pair of boots in the back. She puts those on. She grabs the first aid medical kit. She has a coat on her now, and she's like kind of gearing up, you know what I'm saying? And then what happens is they come to another stop, and there's two more people in the rain on the road walking. I don't know why, but we're introduced to Gregory, who's played by Gabrielle Basso, and this other character named Wayne, who's played by Milo Callahan. And they get into it. They have a little conversation with Donica out in the rain. They get into the Jeep, and they're like, it's a great scene. It's in the trailer, and now Maya is in the middle seat between these two hulking dudes, and she is like terrified, and she does not know what to do, and she really wants to get out of this situation because she does not trust anyone in this car at all, you know what I'm saying? And so they drive a little bit, and then I can't remember how she breaks out of the car because it's really a weird predicament that she's in because she's in the center. But I know she steals the knife. That Carol has a knife out for some. Oh yeah, she's eating an apple. That's right. She's cutting an apple. It's really nice. Another nice, real tension built scene because you're like, Maya, how are you going to get out of this scenario, right? And she does. Like she like kicks them or something like that, and there's probably a little detail in here I should point out, but I think Wayne has a little smiley face tattoo on his neck. I don't know the significance of the smiley face tattoo whatsoever, but they show it quite a bit in this movie, so it might mean something, but to me it means nothing. And honestly, there was a little bit of time where I was starting to think that Wayne was Scarecrow for a little bit, but I was like, it can't be. Scarecrow was the guy at the diner. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought these guys were kind of just I don't know what the proper word for this is, but like it's not a MacGuffin, but like a kind of like a what is it? Like a bait and switch kind of thing. I can't think of the right word where it's like a a decoy. Yes, that's the word. That these four characters are a decoy to Maya from the actual real strangers. And she thinks they're the strangers. And we too have to sit there and go, wait a minute, is this Pinup Girl? Is this them? Like, is this the people that were chasing her? And maybe it's just me because I've never seen the first movie, so I don't know who is who. But that's kind of what I was sitting there going, oh, is this them? This could be a decoy, whatever. We're going to get a swerve in here or something, right? So, anyways, Maya escapes. Okay, and now she is running into the woods. The guys they kind of chase after her a little bit, but they give up and turn around because it's raining, and they go on their merry way, right? And now Maya is on her own, and she has to continue running because the strangers are catching her, like are coming after her too. And she runs through like she's trying to get to another vehicle and something. Was that before or after? I honestly, I might be misremembering the sequence of events because there is a point where she's running away and she goes to a horse stable and she sees a bunch of horses and Scarecrow's there and Pinup's there. And in that sequence, Dollface is there too. They're like all three of them are always together. And in that sequence, she goes to steal a truck and then she comes in contact with this old woman who has like a gun on her and she said something about like that won't help you, the sheriff, and then she takes an arrow in the a crossbow bolt through the chest and dies. And so now I think Pinup Girl was the one who shot her with the arrow. And so now we have this little nugget of information saying like, oh, is the sheriff in on this? right? And it's like, what's going on with that little bit of nugget of information? You know what I'm saying? And that also makes you sit there and think more so about, is everyone who was at the diner in on this whole thing of like this, the strangers themselves? Do they know what's going on in this town and they're all a part of it, except for that old lady who's the horse person and she got. So you kind of have these ideas brewing in your mind here, but it doesn't go anywhere. Is the other part to this too. So um, Maya gets away again. She stabs, I think it's Pinup Girl, she stabs with um, a pitchfork in the thigh, and she runs away from the strangers yet again. And now she's in the woods, okay? And in the woods, she starts a little fire. She looks after her wound, and she kind of becomes a little Rambo-ish here. She has her knife, she has the medical kit, and she's sewing up her own wound, which is a nice scene. Like I actually kind of liked it. Again, I liked it. I was like, oh, this is cool. Um, but we're getting to the part where I was done with the movie. This is the sequence in the film where I was like, this is too dumb. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Because like in this next sequence, we have Scarecrow goes to this like weird shed in the woods, right? Because they're hunting, they're tracking Scarecrow, Dollface, and Pinup Girl are tracking Maya. They find her little spot where she like pulled her where she sewed herself up and she like left behind like some blood, some bloody cloth, right? So they take this stuff and they go to this shed, and then you hear these weird noises, okay? Then it cuts. And then we have the scene where Maya is sitting there. She's repaired herself to the best of her ability. She starts a little fire and she's getting a little warmth. And I think, she's probably trying to hatch a plan of like, where do I go next, right? Because she does know that I think her mom sent her an EMT to come and pick her up and take her home from the hospital, right? So that is a little story beat that was in there. I totally forgot to mention it. So, but it doesn't really play out in this movie in a sense where like Maya's trying to get to a spot of safety to get to the EMT. Maybe I misremember it, but it doesn't matter. I don't remember her ever like trying to contact for the EMT. I don't know. There's like something in there missing in my brain. I might have deleted that because this movie I honestly forgot about after I watched it. But so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get to the end here. No, let's get through this part. So in this sequence, okay, there's a rundown car, just a rundown truck. Okay, it's like an old like Pontiac, we'll say, like just something old, little Cutlass or something like that, four door, just in the woods, rusting out, right? And then all of a sudden, you hear these noises, like an animal is coming, right? And you watch a POV cut of the animal charging through the forest, and it's tracking Maya, right? And you're like, what is going on here? Because like it's running fast, it's moving, it's got a pace to it, and then all of a sudden, Maya's freaked out and she runs into the car for protection. And whatever it is slams into the car and just smashes it, just bang, right? It's a big, powerful beast, whatever it is, okay? And it's a good little tension build because we don't know what it is and she doesn't know what it is. And it's just beating on the truck, right? Or the car. And eventually it stops, right? And everything is calm and cool and collective. And Maya like takes a look out, doesn't see anything, and she gets out of the car, and all of a sudden a giant warthog slash pig of a beast is on top of her and beating her up and eating her leg. And she gets to her knife and she's like trying to fight this this pig. I'm not even making this up, guys. I'm not making this up. I'm not. I really am not. And I'm just like, I'm done at this point. I was like, you had me until that moment, okay? And I'm gonna talk about another thing here soon. And so it was just too hilarious, okay? And she's having her Sparta moment where she's fighting this boar And then eventually she gets her dagger out and falls on her back. Classic kill, right? I'm not complaining about the kill or anything like that. It's a hero's journey, so to speak, kind of maneuver. As she falls back and the boar lands and impales herself on the pig on the dagger, and it's hilarious. Okay, she's now become Leonidas all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, oh my god, what is going on with this movie here? Now, the idea of this board is absolutely stupid, okay? But I understand the metaphor that we're trying to do here. Now, this kill, which is exactly like 300, we'll say, when Leonidas kills the wolf, it's her moment to go, I can fight. I can do this. I am more than this, I don't want to say weak woman, but in this context where she's a survivor now, right? And she survived the journey from Strangers One, Chapter One, and now she's had this moment of the one-on-one battle with the boar. She came out victorious not only against the strangers in Chapter One, but now this giant mythological beast, so to speak. And now it's like she can feel the I want to say she has that heroicness injected into her, right? She's like, I can do this, I can do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that primal mode where she's like, I'm not a victim anymore. I am more than a victim. I can fight back. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, here we go. She's going to fight back and kill them all. Like that, that's where my mind was at. Because, like, why would you build that? Why would you include this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you include this really weird warthog slash pig moment in your hero's journey if it's not going to conclude to the point where she kills them all, right? And that's, we'll get to that. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing I just wanted to bring up because I made a note here of the kids, okay? So there's in this movie there's little backstory about the kid versions of the strangers. So we have young pinup girl played by Nola Wallace, okay? And Nola Wallace, sorry, young pinup girl goes to a church school, I guess, a Catholic school of some sort, right? And we have various little vignettes of historical data of these characters, specifically Pinup Girl and Scarecrow, okay, and how they met at, let's say, a boarding school for troubled teens. But these are kids who are in their, like, I want to say 10-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? And there is this feud that is between young pinup girl and young Tamara. And I don't know if there's an old Tamara out there in this world. Oh, actually, no, there is no old Tamara because Tamara dies. That's right. How could there be an old Tamara? So, anyways, I don't even know why it's called Young Tamara on the IMDb. That's where I pulled this name from. So, Tamara, played by Pippi Blaylock, um, is the catalyst to Pinup Girl becoming Pinup Girl. And Tamara doesn't really know that, but Tamara has a thing for Scarecrow, played young Scarecrow, played by Jake Kogman, and Pinup Girl likes Scarecrow. You know what I'm saying? So there's like this little love triangle here, and Tamara hates Pinup Girl, right? Yes. And so what happens is we get these little story beats, okay? And it's trying to build this backstory of behind the characters. And behind the characters of the strangers, and you're kind of like sitting there going, well, why are you trying to make these, why are you trying to flesh these characters out and make me want to like them in a way? Like, I don't really like these characters anyways, even with the story. And it's like, well, I kind of just like these guys being faceless murderers, you know. I don't need this backstory of what made them become murderers. This isn't Dexter. So I was kind of just like, well, what do I need this for? You know, like, am I supposed to have sympathy for these characters now because they were made to become murderers due to tragic events from their childhood? And it's not even tragic events from their childhood. It's like Pinup Girl actively kills Tamara. Like, it's a scene in the movie where you actually see her kill Tamara. And then for some strange reason, young Scarecrow is like, I'm cool with that. I love you. It's such a weird sequence of events. You would think Scarecrow, young Scarecrow, would be scared of that and run away, going, "Oh my God, you just blatantly." brutally murdered Tamara. But no, he sits down beside her and holds her hand and is like, yeah, we'll go through this to the very end. You know what I'm saying? It's such a weird sequence of events. Sorry, I ran off on a tangent there. But there is a point. There is a point to this. There is a point to this little tangent here. They show a specific sequence of events after Maya kills the warthog. They show a sequence of events of young Scarecrow and young Pin-Up Girl in a pig pen, in a pig pen, playing with baby warthogs. And young Scarecrow says, I'm going to teach these. It's so dumb. I'm going to teach these pigs to do amazing things. And young pinup girl's like, yeah, I believe you will. It's so dumb. And then Scarecrow grows and runs off with Tamara, and it just makes pinup girl even more jealous of Tamara. It's such a weird scene. I laughed. I laughed at the theater. I was laughing at it because it's so dumb. I don't understand why you did this because, like, I know, I know that someone was probably watching this, like myself, and goes, how the hell does Scarecrow have the ability to unleash a powerful warthog that can track Maya through the scent of blood? How in the world is that even possible? And I understand it's a horror movie. I am here to be entertained and let disbelief and imagination take over. I understand the rules of cinema. But this one, I'm just like, nah, I'm sorry. This is a little too far fetched for me right now, okay? And then they have the gall to tell me, yo, dog, here's why. It's so silly. It's just so silly. Oh man, it's so silly. Anyways. I'm going on too long here. There's so many silly things going on in this movie, man. So, okay. Let me fast forward a little bit here. I'm just going to try and rip through this next scene. So then we have that after she survives that, the hero Maya, because now she's a hero. She's had her Rambo moment, and she's like, I did it. She doesn't celebrate like Rambo or like Dutch from Predator. Like, yes, I'm the champion. She doesn't do that. What she does is she continues on her journey, and somehow, she gets back to the house from chapter one. She gets back there. Don't ask me how she knows where she is and how to get there, but somehow magically she gets there, right? And when she's there, she's able to recover, put on some clothes. She looks over she has some flashback events, and then she picks up a knife and stuff like that, like arms herself up because like I feel like she's getting ready to fight back, right? And then she gets scared. Like there's a jump scare moment because there's this random, I want to say like FBI sheriff type of character who shows up, who's investigating all the murders that happened in this area. He dies. Like he dies because I think it's like Dollface kills her or something like that, or Pinup Girl kills him, which just allows Maya to steal his vehicle and drive off. And well, she only gets so far, and because I think one of the crossbow bolts hits the radiator or something like that, and the car like blows up. Well, not to blows up, but fails on her. But she's able to get to a house that's in the middle of I don't know where. You know what I'm saying? It's just a house, and it's a very fancy looking house. And when she gets there, she's banging on the door, and she's like, "Please help me, help me! These people are coming after me. They're trying to murder me. Blah blah blah." And then guess who opens the door? Guess who opens the door, my friends? Yes, you are correct. It's Wayne. Was it Wayne? I think it was Wayne who opens the door, or it was Gregory. It's one of the dudes that opens the door, and we're all like, "Oh no, this is not good." Because I still believe we all in the crowd, the audience of all of us, are like, "These are not good people either." You know what I'm saying? They might not be the strangers, but these people also come across as not good people as well. Even Donica doesn't come across as really a good person. Like she comes across as maybe good, but also she's got a very untrustworthy vibe about her. And this whole crew of people is very untrustworthy. However, they look after her because I think Maya like passes out or something like that. They clothe her, they bathe her, they do like clean up her wounds and stuff like that because Donica's a nurse, and so they like look after her. There's food and stuff like that. But Maya does not trust any of them whatsoever, and the movie kind of gets weird here because the movie's been weird the whole time. What am I saying? Kind of gets weird here. It's been weird since the freaking Warthog, and at this point in time, the movie's only an hour and 38 minutes. It felt like I was there for two, and I'm like, please, can we just wrap this up? So miraculously, the strangers show up, kill everybody. Like they kill Donica, Carol, Gregory. Wayne gets away because he has like a falling out with the group and just drives off in his Mustang. So Wayne's away; he's off into the wind. The strangers are killing everybody. Um, Maya has a face off with Pinup Girl again inside the room where Maya was sleeping. Somehow Pinup Girl got in there, and there's a stupid oh man, I can't even understand how she teleports into Maya's room, but somehow Maya turns around and Dollface, no, Pinup Girl is just standing there, just standing there. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like I can only believe so much. You know what I'm saying? Unless like when Maya was asleep, she felt like when she fell asleep, the stranger snuck in, did all this stuff, and they're like, "Let's play freaking hide and seek and scare her." Like it was just like I'm like, "Come on, how'd you do this?" You know what I'm saying? I can only disbelieve so much. And at this point in time, I'm done with the movie, so my disbelief meter is at an all-time zero right now. Let's wrap this story up and get on with it. You know what I'm saying? So, Maya runs away. She escapes again, right? She escapes the evil clutches of these people. Um, she gets into the ambulance because that's where she told the her mom to send the EMT to come there, but the EMT dies. Oh yeah, that's how they figure out where she is. I totally forgot about that scene. So the EMT stops for gas in the small town, and he's looking for the gas, and he asks this dude. There's a jump scare there, and this guy's like where are you going, and he's like, well, I'm going to this place, and the guy's kind of like, oh no, you're not. It's a weird series of events, and also the EMT's kind of like, yeah, I'm not really going to go there. He gets his gas and disappears, so you kind of felt like he wasn't ever going to show up there because of the threatening vibe of the mechanic at the small town shop here. And so he shows up anyways and dies. You don't see it, it's off camera, but he's dead. Maya takes the EMT vehicle, drives away, and we think she's scot free. She's safe. She's going to be gone from this hellhole. But guess who's there? Pinup Girl is in the back. They have a little scuffle. Bang, bang. We're done. You know what I'm saying? The classic Maya puts on the seatbelt. She's getting choked out from behind by Pinup Girl. She puts the pedal to the metal 50 miles an hour, whatever. Crashes the vehicle. Pinup Girl goes through it. She's dead. So, at least we think she's dead. And then we have, I think Maya runs away. Like she does get away. Like she gets away because the strangers kind of stop there, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Because like I was thinking about this too when she finally kills Pinup Girl. I think it's the first time we think she actually kills Pinup Girl because she stabs Pinup Girl in the side of the head with the scissors in the EMT vehicle, and there's a long lingering shot of Maya looking at Pinup Girl. And I thought Pinup Girl was going to wake up and attack her right then and there, but it's just like a really long shot of Maya looking at the Pinup Girl, just looking at her, and we're focused on Pinup Girl, and she's dead, and we're just lingering on that there. And when I'm watching this, I'm going, oh, I see what we're setting up here. Maya's going to become the new Pinup Girl. And in my mind, I'm like, is she going to become the new Pinup Girl to kill the strangers and everyone who's involved as like ultimate revenge because she's in her hero arc. And then that's when she kills Pinup Girl for real for with the crashing of the ambulance and all that jazz. And then that's also when Scarecrow, Maya gets away and Scarecrow is chasing after her, obviously, but he stops for Pinup Girl and he looks at her and he holds her like lovingly, like I can't believe she's dead. It's a loving moment. It's like I'm supposed to care about Pinup Girl. And because like I mentioned, they sprinkle in those little vignettes of the childhood era, and they even show you why. They show you the kill, like young pinup girl killing Tamara and Scarecrow joining and all that. And this is supposed to be this moment that we're supposed to care for Scarecrow losing pinup girl. And I'm sitting there going, why do I care about these murderers that just destroyed everyone in chapter one, and they're just trying to finish the job here? Like, these are crazy people, but you're giving me this heartwarming ending of like, oh no, Scarecrow, you lost your girl, you lost Pinup Girl. Like, who's thinking this? I'm not. I'm like, yeah, Maya, you did it. You killed Pinup Girl. You got two left to go, girl. Let's get them. You know what I'm saying? And then guess what? Cuts to black. Chapter two end. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh my god, you can't be doing this to me. But I know they're doing a chapter three. So chapter three. So that's the end of the movie. And I know I've been yapping for a while. I don't care. I don't care. I like yapping about these films and stuff like that because like it's such a ridiculous movie. It's such a ridiculous movie, but it's funny. And there is some really good tension building scenes in this movie. I have to be honest about that. There is some good tension building scenes. Even at the end when she's with the four people again, there's some more tension building there. There is some decent dialogue between some of these characters too, where you're kind of just like questioning the motives of people. But it's really a real like you're following Maya running all the time away from the strangers and or this thing and that thing. And there is an interesting character arc of this person becoming the I would like to say the doe to the warrior. You know what I'm saying? She's no longer running, she's going to fight back. And then we get to this beautiful ending, which is so silly for an ending for a horror movie. Um, and then it cuts to black. We get some credit sequences, and then you stay for a little bit, and then it shows you the teaser for chapter three, which looks like in chapter three we're going to see Maya as Pinup Girl. Like I said, she is going to don the mask of Pinup Girl, and I think she is joining the strangers, and they are going to terrorize a new house of individuals in the third one. However, I think Maya's infiltrating the strangers to kill them all. And I think we'll learn more too about the sheriff because I don't trust that sheriff one bit. So that's the whole movie, okay? And I'm still just kind of like whatever about it. After I saw it, I legit forgot about everything. And when I was writing this out, I was like, oh no, I forget most of this movie. That is pretty much how forgettable this film is. And I paid cheap night money for this. So that's good. We saved a little there. But I do not think if you're not there's no reason to see this movie on any other night other than cheap night. If you really really need to see this film, fine, but please be wary of your money. See it on the cheap night Tuesday for sure. And worst case scenario, you know what, if you want to save some money, rent it on don't even rent it because I think it's even more money when you rent. Wait until it drops on streaming for whatever streaming service you have and whatever you're paying a monthly fee for that. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. Save your money unless you have to see this film. I'm done talking about this movie, guys. It wasn't good. Will I see the third one? That's a real good question. Will I see the third one? Right? Like the third one makes me go, I just want to see it to see if I'm correct about the story arc of Maya. But other than that, I don't care. And that's sad because these guys put a lot of work and effort into making this three-part movie. And I'm at the point of where I've only seen the second film and I don't care. That sucks because I know they're going to release the third one eventually and it's probably going to make no money. Yeah. And I didn't even talk about the kills because there's none. I totally forgot about that. There's one kill in the whole. Okay, hold on. Before I wrap this up, how many kills are in this movie that you see? You see The janitor gets chopped, like, and it's a quick chop, a little blood. You see the grandma at the horse ranch. She gets shot with a crossbow. Um, the four friends, so Danica, Carol, and Gregory, they all get killed, but it's off camera. But you see the corpses of their bodies. So that's their those four, those that's five. If I recall, you see the EMT driver. He's dead, but you don't see the kill. But he's dead off camera, but you see his body. So that's six. And then you have Tamara. She dies also off camera. And then you have Pin-Up Girl who dies on camera. And that's it. So you have eight kills in this movie, and one, two, three are on camera. Three of the kills are on camera, and they're not even good. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing special about them. There's nothing gory, nothing crazy, nothing outlandish. You know what I'm saying? Like the kills are just so rudimentary and pedestrian that it doesn't even really like sell the movie. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of like, yeah, okay, I just watched Maya run. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot the warthog. She kills the warthog too on camera, so that's nine. So nine, four on camera, five off camera. So and also you don't want to see a young kid get killed anyway. So that one's a fine. Like do that off camera. I'm actually surprised they even did it in the movie in the first place. Now I think about it. So yeah, you're really just paying for some jump scares. Nothing special on the special effects side of things for kills. It's nothing you haven't seen before. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me, guys. That's the end of my review. Sorry I took so long. I just yapping. You know how it is. Who cares? I'm yapping. I'm talking about it. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this movie. Did you enjoy The Strangers 2? Or are you looking forward to Strangers 3? Because like the teaser trailer for Strangers 3 actually looked a little interesting, more so than what I watched in Strangers 2. So maybe I will want to see this. I don't want to see this movie. I don't want to see the third one, but the teaser trailer is a good tease to see what happens to Maya, and I think that is interesting. But I think how we got there from this movie alone, I think chapter two really kills the momentum of going into chapter three, and that is an unfortunate series of events. Also, Dollface is kind of useless in this. At least I think it's Dollface that's pretty useless. She doesn't do anything crazy, but whatever, whatever. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys are thinking about this movie. Are you looking forward to part three or not? Do you even care about this franchise? Tell me what you think. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm done talking about this movie, guys. So you guys have a good one. Don't work too hard. Be safe in whatever movies you're watching. I hope you're loving them and digging them. Peace out, everyone. Bye.